back in the day when the first hardcore dudes started coming with tattoos all over them. I'm the opposite. I come with no tattoos.
Alright, I think that'll work right there. I guess you said you got a thermos?
Yes. Get ready to rock. Got some fucking El Snickeroscos, brought to you by Nestle's. I'm gonna plug everyone today. Like my gym bits.
My idiot, really.
This is almost uncomfortable. This would be a good place to do a podcast.
Hell yeah.
Set it up right. I mean, you can fucking move it around and
Perfect.
it's a perfect band room too, dude. Sounds good in here. That new fucking PA is Bluetooth. I can fucking play anything on it for you.
I guess we don't need to fucking say anything.
Everybody knows who you are. It's on the fucking page.
Yeah. Alright.
If you have children, put them away.
Exactly.
Because I swear a lot and say inappropriate things. So don't be offended. If you are, just click past.
Alright, so this is actually gonna be episode 3. Because I'm traveling to Toledo tonight for that Death Before Dishonor show.
Toledo.
Yeah, Toledo.
Toledo. You gotta say it with an A.
But I also, I'm glad that it's coming there because I want to start doing shows out there at the Ottawa Tavern.
Okay. Yeah, that place is
So-
cool. That's what the lips, you
Yep.
pee into the lips.
Yeah.
The lips urinal.
So I want to talk to them. Plus, I'm doing a podcast with Death Before Dishonor, and I'm also of course to see the show. But so it's kind of in reverse. But I was definitely excited to be able to do this show with you for many reasons. Number one, like all that disconnected feeling from COVID. But I mean, everybody's trying to get through COVID. Everybody's trying to take care of their family, keep their house and all that other shit. And it just, that show I did on 3/11, I was actually going to do last year for my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't feel like it was time. I didn't feel like it was time for it. So I'm glad I waited. And really, what really motivated me and inspired me was that 10 for 10 show.
Yeah.
To see it sold out, to see, the bands that played, everything that happened. I was grateful that Max had survived, that club had survived COVID, because I heard about so many different clubs closing and so many. It really changed the structure and just the overall vibe of a lot of things. Chris from Reverb, I was so glad to hear he survived too.
Exactly.
Yep. Which kind of, that was
And that's a big place to fucking,
And that was our first road trip, I think. Our first road trip was what, 2013?
Keystone?
Yeah, no, to
Was it or was it?
no, that was the winter. We went to
Tsunami
Fest.
Tsunami,
2013 was our first road trip, and then
Yeah.
was it that? I think it was the next. I think it was 2014 that we went to Keystone Jam.
Yeah.
And I always laugh about that, like when we were sitting in the rocking chairs. And I think we titled the picture "Two OGs."
The old guys.
The old guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm more of an old guy than an OG, I'd say.
Exactly.
I'm an old guy trapped in an 18-year-old's head.
But just, and we've talked about it many times, and even before COVID, that feeling of being segregated from the younger bands and the younger culture coming up, and there's always been kind of that like buffer zone, and so that's one of the main things I'm working on, and I knew that you were someone I could reach out to that, because we've had so many conversations about it.
Yeah.
And just trying to build something in Detroit and Michigan, really. That's another thing. It's just that whenever there's a band from Michigan, I think sometimes they feel like they have to say or represent Detroit hardcore because there's nothing else really being represented. Lansing, Grand Rapids, and everywhere else there's, so kind of getting that involved too, where it's more Michigan, you know, well, I mean, like Justin and then the guys did that, like, with the Great Lakes hardcore,
Yeah.
you know, so, you know, things like that.
It's been waves.
Yeah.
Ever since the original hardcore scene, it's
Exactly.
small waves that have never made it up. This is the first wave, I think, that's gonna actually fucking make it to the shore, and it's made it. It's doing good, I think.
Yeah,
Better than a long time.
There's I just feel like there's a lot of, you know, whether it's from COVID or whatever, you know, but it just feels like there's a lot of, people are excited about it. People are, you know, there's a bunch of new bands emerging, you know, some will stay, some won't.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's the way I'm trying to engineer my shows, is to get some of these younger bands, you know, on with established bands, so that they're, you know, they're learning the etiquette, learning the whole process and what to do, what not to do, and, you know, learning that from, you know, some of the bands that have, you know, the veterans, you know what I mean? And, you know, I spent a lot of time talking to, you know, younger people in the hardcore scene, and not talking at them, but just sharing, you know, sharing what it was like when we came up, you know, not that they have to go through that, or I want them to go through, you know, or that I want them to go through that. You don't have to, I don't think they have to go to a show and worry about getting stabbed.
No.
To you know, understand where we came from, but it's just,
There's a different kind of anger today, I think.
you know, where, just to kind of understand, so that there's that better understanding of kind of like where we came from and where things are now, so that there's that communication and just that understanding. And I think a lot of people feel like we all have to have this big kumbaya moment, and that's not really what it's about. I think it's more about just going to shows, supporting each other, you know, as a culture, as a scene, and you know, even if it's for that 3-4 hours that we're at a show, that, you know, we're not fighting, we're not at odds with one another. Because to me, that's the one place we should never be at odds.
You shouldn't.
Is at a show, you know.
Every once in a while there's a scrap, but usually somebody's friend. It gets resolved.
You know, we're, you know, because that's the whole reason I go to shows. I mean, a lot of times, and stay involved in the hardcore, you know, culture, is because that's my release from work, from family, from all the things.
It's my psychiatrist.
Exactly, all the things that I have to do.
My therapy session.
So to feel like there's conflict, or that I can't go to certain shows or can't go to certain venues, you know, those are the types of things that I'm trying to get rid of. So like I said, you know, I wanted to know, there's some of the history, like, I don't know, like, I know you're Without Warning. How did that all come about?
I was influenced by hearing Cold as Life, and like the local band. I heard Cold as Life first, getting into the music scene, the hardcore punk scene, from growing up in the same area as them, and we just listening to them guys fucking play, and it kind of, I always wanted to play the guitar. I fucked around a little bit here and there, but I remember me and Bob Bunga, we were always playing air guitar, and he was playing air drums, pots and pans. Well, this is fucking hilarious. And one day he bought a drum set, dude, and I ended up having a guitar, and I ended up getting an amp and a cabinet, and we started the first, we played air guitar and drums for 2 years before we did. I think it was 94, 93, when we first started jamming together like that. But might have even been 92, I'm not sure. But I remember the first time we got our instruments, we were in his basement. We made a fucking song up in 30 seconds. It was Treason. It was the first song we ever made. And I've always had the knack to write riffs. I ain't that great of a musician, I'm a riffer. And we did this for like a year, just me and him jamming together. We came up with some songs, and then all of a sudden, this girl he was going out with, she had some friends, and they came over, and it was Joey.
Okay.
He brought Herb with him, and that was the beginning. We ended up getting Greg Wilton. It was our second guitar. And then after a while, it was Tom Curry. Greg passed away. hopefully he's in a better place. But that's what happened with Without Warning. We came together and we stayed together for quite a while. For back then it was crazy because shitty shows would have like 300 people at them.
Wow.
and we would play at the Magic Stick, and there would be fucking a million people there, and it'd be like just the local bands, there would be no big bands on it, and the Magic Stick would be packed upstairs, it was fucking.
I mean, I was real surprised at the turnout for my show on 311.
Yeah, no, it was sold out, dude. Fucking every show lately's been sold out.
And
if not sold out, it's fucking goddamn close to nothing. You know what I'm saying?
And just to see everybody come together and to see how I mean, everybody was just energized. You know what I mean? Nobody.
Yeah. And I was surprised that people stayed for the last band.
And that's what I mean.
A lot of times people are half the bar's already gone because a lot of the older folk are like, man, I'm fucking tired. But the shows are early nowadays, and I like that too. Back in the '90s and early 2000s, man, shows didn't even start till 9 o'clock at night. You were fucking coming home from the bar with your equipment. The sun's coming up.
Coming and crashing on your couch at 4 o'clock in the morning. But
yep.
I remember you.
And he's sober and he cracked on my couch at 4 in the morning.
And I remember one time we were talking, and we were talking about Without Warning and that period. Where you just started playing guitar and like some of the tutelage like Jeff Gunnels would give you, just on how to construct your riffs and different picking types and things like that.
I concentrated on picking a lot of things, the fingerboard came later, but I think hardcore music has there's a lot of the same riffs people play, kind of to an extent. Mm-hmm. How, just like any music, every fucking song that you got out there, every band, I don't care who you are, you always say, hey, that's our Metallica song, that's our fucking Slayer song, that's our Sinead O'Connor song, We don't have the Sinead O'Connor song yet, but we're working on it.
Which actually leads into a good little topic of when did things stop being hardcore? You know what I mean? There's so many different, there's like, you have like your old school hardcore, then there's the metalcore, then there's, when does it stop becoming hardcore, or is it all, or is hardcore not really so much about the music as it is the culture and the scene?
I think it's about all of that. I mean, there's some people that are into hardcore because they enjoy the hell out of the music.
Yeah.
Hardcore to me is it's heavy ass music, but it's kind of got a hip hop flow to it, if you really break it down, and the way we got our fucking screaming like you're yelling at your kids singing. That's how I explain it to people. Like I say, metal got into it as years go by. I've never walked away from it. I'm not in no midlife crisis playing in a band at 51 years old because I've never stopped playing. I've always,
and to me, the way I've always described it to people is that the music is the byproduct of the culture and the scene, and so it's kind of like there's no dress code.
No.
So then should we really constrict the type of music that's coming out?
Exactly, and hardcore used to be more one-dimensional, just like when rap came out. Remember fucking Run DMC and all them bands? They kind of all had that gangster and fucking. It was and it was good as hell. And now you listen to it, you're like, man, them back then that was pissed, but the beats are, if someone did that nowadays, we'd laugh at them. It sounds like a Casio thing, but hardcore started out. I think it was bad as hell. I still listen to old shit more than I do new shit, but there's a lot of bands coming out right now that I love the way hardcore is changing, to be honest with you. I don't think we should be one-dimensional and say everybody should be in a beatdown. The beatdown's the only true hardcore, or fucking, you got melodic bands, you got, fucking, like Poison Tongues. We're a chunky hardcore band. We're a chunky riffer band. We do a lot of leads now. Mike is I don't know how he does that shit, fucking singing and playing leads at the same time.
Know.
Dive bombs. I'm like, wow.
And I've been hearing a lot of that lately, where I've been hearing a lot of people saying that we need to start being gatekeepers. You know what I mean? And sometimes I don't really I mean, I understand that there's people that are purists, you know, like hardcore is this way, and hardcore, you know, should be this way, and I get it, and I respect it because
That's okay.
they're trying to, you
That's
know,
that's their right to think how they want to fucking think.
and they're trying to keep it pure. I understand the mentality behind it, the psychology behind it, you know, and then that's also the thing I love about hardcore is there's no real. There's not. It's not like there's a government. It's not like there's this set cookie cutter format of what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to dress, how you're supposed to act. You know, aside from that, you know, that respect that we should all have for one another when we're at shows, when we're you know, especially now. I mean, it's so different now. I mean, having the internet than, you know, back in our day when you had to go to shows and you had to do that stuff, so you couldn't. You know, it wasn't as easy to, you know, you didn't have all that access. But what if we had the internet back then? We would have used it. We would have done the same goddamn thing, you know. Mm-hmm. You know, but we didn't. So we had to do what we do. We had to, you know, flyer things and go to shows and meet people and, you know, get on the mailing lists and all kinds of stuff, you know. So, I mean, I don't, you know, who was I talking to about that? I don't really see that, you know, there's this implosion or that, you know, hardcore's dying. I don't see that at all.
I think hardcore's starting to like get into more people's heads now. There's fucking so many young kids at these shows, dude, and it hasn't been like that. You know, like me, when we were first started doing the Poison Tongues thing, the scene was okay. You know, there was some people starting to come back around, but it's just not like right now, dude. There's a lot of young bands, and I don't know if it's because of the pandemic, all these kids had time and they got together and jammed, and you know, maybe that, you know, this pandemic had some good to it too, you know. I know we had time to fucking get down some things we were doing, and it was hard changing from not having Lenny there, but these bands now, dude, are fucking D-block, heavy as shit, fucking. We got so many, Doubt It, the sound, they got that. They're like they got that groovy. Like
exactly.
that show the other night. Like I don't even fucking shake a leg, and I wanted to get out there and scuff the floor up a little bit with them guys. But,
I do love the diversity of sound. You know that is coming out right now, where you have you know bands like We Will Rot.
Yep.
You know, and
Enemy of God is fucking.
Enemy of God.
They got
great.
that fucking heavy fast. You know they kind of. They remind me of like a band like us. We're not the same, but they got the leads in the metal, that Thoma fucking going fucking wild.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there's a lot of good bands going on right now. That 10 for 10 showed that.
Oh my God!
You know what I mean?
You know what band is Super Double. That band
Dude,
is just really.
Yeah. Todd Purdy blew me away, dude. I didn't know that motherfucker could fucking talk that fast.
Yeah.
He's usually laid back and a man of
just
few
all
words.
of it. The guitar, the sound.
Mike's rubbing off on him.
Well, Mike asked me, you know, the other day, you know, what I thought of it.
The man.
You know what I thought of Super Devil and everything. He goes, and I said, you know what? To me, it sounds like Detroit.
They totally fucking fit into the hardcore show, and I know they're a fucking,
absolutely.
They're a dirty rock and roll fucking.
And that's what I.
Punk
But
band,
I explained
you know
to people what you're looking at, what this is, and you know, Mike with UDI, and that it's not just a bunch of old fuckers that crawled out of the woodwork and decided to make a band.
No, a lot of these bands. There's a lot of young bands around here too, but there is also a lot of bands that have been around for a while, dudes have been playing, and that's good to see. Guys are still, these motherfuckers, I've been jamming with a lot of these guys over the course of 25 years, you know, and they're all still fucking doing things in bands, you know, fucking traveling around the world, and not making a damn penny, but getting experiences that most people will never be able to have in their life, you know, and that's what I like about the Detroit scene is it's, you know, fucking, it's coming back together again, and we've always been dissed over some of the bigger cities and everything, which, you know, I don't know whose fault it is, because there's some really good music here, and when people come here, they always got stories like, man, you know, I mean, everyone's got scary fucking places.
I was talking to Jeff about that. A while back we were talking about that, and just, you know, having him on the podcast too. And it seems like that's what it seems like exactly. Whenever people talk about Detroit, it's always death, murder, the scariest fucking place on the planet to be, and I wanted to get past all that shit, you know. Or when we're talking about Detroit hardcore, we're talking about all the hardships and all the, you know, all that horror and all that shit we lived through. It's like, okay, we lived through it. It's gone. Let's move the fuck on, and you know, let's talk about the triumph. Let's talk about the good things. Let's talk about what's happening. Let's talk about how, you know, things are progressing here. As you know, it always being about, you know, horror stories. You know what I mean? Because there's so much more happening.
People are wearing deodorant nowadays. You can fucking go to a show. Hey, you can go to a show without your fucking windows being knocked the fuck out. And
Or
to steal your chapstick off your fucking
people
glove
having
box.
screwdrivers, or you know.
I know.
The
Detroit diamonds everywhere.
Going from the people taking the spikes off the wrist and putting it on their hand in the fucking pit.
They still do that.
You know, but
Or
it's
pick
just,
up bar stools and throw them.
oh my god.
That was great.
So, and I even commented on that video I put up, which was amazing, and it was actually Julian. God, I don't want to slaughter his last name. Fonseca.
Mm-hmm.
And he's at all the shows. He's a great guy. His band is actually going to be doing one of my shows. His band, Dead Hang.
Okay.
And so he had put something up yesterday morning, work jams, and it was Whitney Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And so that inspired me. I said, you know, next time I see you in the pit, I'm gonna
dance with somebody.
I'm gonna lay it. And so I went back into the video from the 311 show and found that scene. I said, this is fucking perfect.
Yep.
And because I mean, halfway through it, you see, you know, Aztec pick up the fucking bar stool and throw it.
Yep.
And I said, he said it was spring training.
Spring training. That sounds like him. He's a fucking monster, dude. I've known that
He's a
dude.
beast.
He's always been him and Ed when they get together. That's
Yeah.
a good combo there. That'd be a good podcast in the future.
But just,
for you.
you know, seeing you know, old school, out there mixing it up with the young kids, and you know, that was the best part of the whole show for me. You know,
Yeah.
was to see the young, the old, people there. You know, 45 minutes before the show started, people, you know.
I know the first band went on and
I actually had to move the band up. The first
Yeah.
band went on like I think 30 minutes early because
Yeah.
people were just milling around.
I was glad about that. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You know,
I like playing like third. 5 bands playing third. Psh, that's a perfect spot.
you know, so
Then you can still have fun.
I'm just really excited about a lot of things going on, and that's what inspired me to start, you know, doing these shows again. And I hadn't done, I think 2017 was the last time we did a hardcore care show, and that was actually in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Because that was for Tad of Stout,
Mm-hmm.
when he was going through cancer. But you know, so to be able to do these shows, you know, that's one thing I'm grateful for too. Is just, you know, I just turned 50 to still be able to do this, to still be a part of it. You know what I mean? Being healthy, you know, making it through COVID, and seeing all the people that did, you know, because there was a lot of crazy shit that happened during COVID. My dad died of COVID, and just all kinds of crazy shit that happened. And I think that, you know, when I went to that 10 for 10 show, it just kind of reignited everything, made all that, you know, like what are we coming back to? It's like everybody's like peeking their head back out in the world.
Yep.
You know, and what are we coming
Scared to
back
death
to?
to go to a show and
You know?
fucking people are looking for 3 days to make sure nobody had an
Exactly.
outbreak.
To where now, you know, I think at least, you know, COVID is at a point now where it's manageable.
Oh,
You know,
it's
people
like-
are going to get it, but at
Most
least
people are healthy enough to handle
Now
it.
it's
And
manageable.
they just didn't know what the fuck was going on with it when it
Exactly.
first went on, and they were being maybe overactive, but you know, a lot of people did die. It was
No,
like,
it was
let's kill the old motherfuckers disease,
you know,
the old and the weak.
you know, and just I'm glad that I mean, a lot of things did change during COVID, though. I mean, coming out of it, even remembering like the shows I went to before COVID to the changes now, and you know, and part of me is, you know, and I think it just comes with age. But I mean, I am still a old crusty bastard when it comes to certain things, but
Yeah. Well,
the thing about it is I'm not pressing that on people.
no,
That's
nobody
me,
should
and
press
that's
their
why-
beliefs. Exactly, Bill. That's the only thing that issues that I have with the way the world is going now is a lot of the young people are mad at the old people because they didn't do things right or whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking, this has been happening forever. It's just a cycle, and
Yeah.
you know, a lot of things changed quick, dude. COVID made things change quick, and a lot of the older people, the way that they talked and thought about things and did things and were told about things, and you know, things changed over the last 20 years. It seems like the government used to fucking dictate what was going on to a point back in the days, and we would be like, oh man, we fucking whatever they said on the news, we listened to, and
Exactly.
the news, I guess it's still the same. Everyone spews their shit and everything, but it's just, it seems like back nowadays the kids they get butthurt about everything so easy, man. Just if you don't like something, just fucking walk away from it and turn your head, because everybody's different, man. Some people like to smell farts. Some people don't like to smell farts. Some people like to fucking eat vegetables. Some people like to eat meat. Who gives a fuck?
And
You shouldn't hate people because they do something different than you, and that's what, there's so many people that are willing to shut out everything that they don't like. Think about that in the long run, hey, let's censor what people are saying, who gives a fuck? If someone's racist, fuck them, don't fucking talk to them, let them, as long as they're not hurting. Racist to me has gotten overbound to a point, like, the term of what people think
It's almost
racist
like-
is. A racist is someone that wants a bunch of people gone. They don't want them here no more. They want to and they want to get rid of them, and they'll be happy to that. And there's I think there's more bigotry out there than there is racism, and it's just stupid fucking thoughts in your fucking head. Everybody says something stupid once in a while. It just comes out of your mouth, and we all just need to. I like everyone around me, Bill. I don't give a fuck who you are. I like you. I don't know why.
I think a lot of things are offensive, but not necessarily racist.
Yeah.
To me, if you're racist, I mean it's an ideology that you believe. It's in your psyche. It's in your fiber.
Yeah.
As opposed to once in a while we just say some off the cuff shit that is offensive. And I tell people all the time, I am offensive. I'm an offensive person because sometimes I just say.
I'm an equal opportunity offender. I like to offend
I just
everyone
say what
if
the
I
fuck
can.
is on my mind sometimes. That doesn't mean that I'm racist, sexist, a misogynist, or whatever adjective people want to put me on. No, I just said it like it is. It doesn't mean that I don't like people. I can't remember a time not liking anybody based on their race, their sex, sexual orientation, their religion, and their beliefs. Straight edge vegan. I mean, growing up, doing drugs, drinking.
I didn't even know what straight edge was.
Some of my favorite bands.
We used to rock the Minor Threat, getting fucking wasted, and then as I got older, I was like, man, they were ragging on me.
And that's the way I feel today. Whether you use pronouns, you're straight edge, you're vegan, transgender, whatever. Those are all personal choices. To me, it's like we all start as humans. Then we learn who we are. We go through that process, which never stops. Finding out who we are, and then our complexities come into play. We start becoming these diverse individuals that have to now mix with groups of people. And to me, that stuff, that's personal. That's your personal choices, and that's your business. I'm very. It's like you said. I learned a long time ago, and I think part of that was being homeless. I was homeless from like the age of 16 till like 22. You know what I mean? Before I got my shit together, and just everything I had to do, I had to rely on myself. I had to rely on my instincts. I had to learn to adapt quick. And I've seen so many different walks of life. From sitting on parking blocks, talking to hookers, watching people, shoot dope in alleyways, losing friends, all the things that I had to endure. And that feeling of the people I was supposed to depend on most were just like, discarded me. But I don't hang on to that shit. I don't feel that way today. Today it's about understanding, let people be who they are. And there's that pup.
Yep, my goddamn dog came down here. Hi, Lulu.
Oh, there she is.
She's terrorizing the fucking podcast. It's okay.
And
She
that-
smells food. We got food all over
Yeah.
the table. You guys can't see it.
And that's why I'm trying to. That's why I'm building the shows. Why I'm building that first show I built. You know, where I had 2 of the younger bands, 2 mid. You know, like Represent, who I was very happy.
Yeah,
with
that was
making
they were
out,
awesome.
You know,
Fucking.
and then the old bastards.
What was the
you know.
band from Toledo again?
Oh,
they just-
Daba.
Dude, they were fucking.
No,
really
they're
good,
actually
dude. I like
they're
them
from
sons of bitches.
Mansfield. Don't-
Mansfield.
They
Okay.
get
No,
touchy.
No.
Because I first introduced them as
I know,
Cleveland. They're like,
yeah.
we're not from Cleveland.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean, and
What's going on?
that
Cleveland?
brought some of that hindsight of what I was just saying.
That's
about
like if someone says you're from Ann Arbor. No, I'm not.
where we're not, you know, everything in Michigan is Detroit hardcore. You know, there's Grand Rapids, bitter Truth out of Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
Great band.
Excellent.
You know, I seen them when they came. Well, I think it was last year when they came with Death Before Dishonor. That was my first time seeing them. You know.
You fucking playing music, I hope.
That was funny when I seen you in that Davey truck. I'm like, holy shit, this motherfucker got his own business?
No, I was the only person named Davey that worked for Davey Tree. That didn't last long. I worked for whoever's in the area that I want to work in. I worked in the city for a good majority of my career, and a little over 5 years ago, I moved to Ann Arbor area to work. So I wanted to get out of the city. I've just been in the city my whole life, working 1 million hours.
What do you got? Do you get tired of the tumbleweeds or what?
No, I got it. They're at every sewer going down. That's what clogs the sewers there. It's not the leaves, it's the tumbleweed. But
That and dodging pit bulls.
yeah, no, when I was in the city, I fucking packs of dogs ain't no fucking lie, dude. That's a real thing. People laugh when you say that, but I've been cornered a couple times by packs of dogs, dude.
When I
It's
first
scary. Them fucking city dogs that live in the abandoned houses or wherever the fuck they're living in, dude. They pack together, man. They're like a little fucking gang.
when I first moved back here in 2011, I went out and studied the stray packs because I wanted to see how much of the behavior from them being wild was still. You know, I wanted to study these dogs, you know, because there was no human intervention.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see what kind of behavior, because even if they're hunting, like garbage cans, dumpsters, whatever, they're still using the same behavior and the same pack mentality to achieve that goal. So
Yeah.
I wanted to see how much of that was still, you know, through domestication. So
Yeah, fucking.
I get it, yeah.
Dude,
And if you're in their territory,
even, dude, pheasants everywhere in the city of Detroit. You go, you shit
That's
your pants, you
crazy.
take it, the people wouldn't even, they'd be like, what the hell? It's like, yeah, it's a fucking pheasant. Because there's a lot of places that they clear the houses or factories and shit, and they grow up, and the grass is, it's
Yeah.
just grasses and stuff. There's not a lot of trees and stuff in there, and that's what a lot of them birds cruise through. That's how they hide, to get back and forth so they don't get killed by something else.
I know what you mean too about because after I'm done here, I got a client, then I gotta go home and help Nicole get ready. She's having dinner with her parents, and then I gotta get on the road to get to Toledo. To do early enough to do the interview and the podcast, and then watch the show.
What time is that show at, man? It's just dead. I can't get home late, dude.
I think the doors are at 6 or 7. I think they're gonna get there at 5 because of load in.
And they won't be playing until fucking 10 to 11, and I won't get home till midnight.
That's one thing I like about my job is the diversity in schedule. You know, being able to kind of make my own schedule, because, I mean, really, even with, you know, Nicole's care, it wouldn't be possible. If we both had 9-to-5 jobs, it would be impossible. I mean, we've condensed down to a one-car family, and, you know, her things are progressing, so there's, you know, and that's the thing about lupus, it never gets better. It progresses, you just deal with it and treat it symptomatically.
Hopefully you can slow it down, get some peace here and there. I still didn't get a shirt from you. I should have told you to fucking bring it today.
I forgot.
Well, we'll do that pretty quick. You still are getting, you can still get them shirts online, right? If you got
Yeah, I got
the link
lots
up
of
and
them.
everything? Okay.
I got envelopes too. I can, when I go home tonight, I'll
Hardcore Cares Lupus Foundation shirts. That's good. Keep that shit going.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people appreciated it.
It was a good show.
This is a pig out session here. This is the first time I did a podcast. We had some fucking snacks out and stuff. But if it's breakfast with Jim motherfucking Davey,
You're goddamn right.
you gotta have some.
Hey, what are you doing?
Is she smelling your coat?
She's chewing on it.
What?
She was chewing on it.
I'm sorry.
You know why?
You got a fucking meat stick in your pocket?
I keep fucking snacks and shit in there. Like,
Lulu!
when I'm training,
You lay down.
that's where I put.
Sorry, dude. Did she fuck it up or anything?
No.
Is it all wet?
She just is.
You fucking asshole.
That's why, because
She's a Labrador pit bull, so she's a snack hound.
But
Why don't you go upstairs? Go. Let me do my thing. What else was I fucking... Oh yeah, we were talking about the merch a little bit earlier. I forgot to fucking go back into it. We got them, we were only doing 12 for this show. And I think a couple of the shirts, they didn't have them in stock, so we might only have 8 or 10. But we didn't want to, because they're fucking not cheap to make the basketball jerseys. It's a lot more. But we're going to have them at the show available, $45. And we're going to reprint them real quick, though. Because I think a lot of people actually like this. Is one,
yeah.
trying to come up with some merches that everybody is getting into. And
That's like
they
when
like
I made,
that.
remember when I made the Hardcore Cares work shirts?
Yeah.
The Dickie style shirt?
Yeah, I got that, but I'm bigger now, so it's fucking it look like Pee Wee Herman in it.
Same thing with that, where I think I do like 15 or 20 of them because they're fucking expensive.
Yeah, well, we're doing that, the purple one, it's like the Lakers style or whatever, and then we got I like the black one with the white font on it, front and back print. But on our next print, when we do it, I think we're gonna like do a black and Honolulu blue print. I think, like lion style, and then I think we should do possibly some people are recommending a blue, dark blue with some orange, and like a tiger stain jersey and shit. So.
Well, that's like when I put up those two style, like the Michigan Hardcore, just plain font. Yeah. The blue and yellow and the green and white. People were like, "Rah!"
Yeah. Well, we figured that was we wanted to do something a little bit different because we seen a few people do that, and that's why they buy different merch, because if people do different colors and that someone else didn't have out and that color clicks to them, they're gonna go to it,
And it seems like the trend is like simple. Like I just put up that simple font on that just plain shirt, and people were like all over it.
I like the colored shit too, but that's really expensive to get that shit done. When like Cole's Life and fucking shirts they got.
And then when you start getting like multicolors,
yeah, the Craig Holloway art and all that.
They start having to burn different screens to do different colors.
Well, when you got 5 different screens for a shirt, that's $150, $200 fucking screens just for the shirt, and then you got to.
And then front and back.
Yeah. I like them Cold as Life, the hoodies, just the black and white ones. That's the one I want. I got a hoodie about everyone that I'm a hoodie man, and I'm glad I wear a 3X because nobody can really take my shit. You can tell. If they got a real big hoodie, I'm like, let me look at that. That's mine. Well, I had an Earth Mover hoodie, and I left it in someone's yard. It was my older one. I had 2. Thanks to Lenny, he fucking had a couple of triple extra large Earth Mover hoodies. I got the last one he ever had. He gave it to me here a little bit back, and I won't let that. The other one I had at work, and I set it down on a side of a pole because I was trimming, going through the country, and I left it there. And I went back the next day, and I told the homeowner, I said, "You gonna see a hoodie up there?" You're like, "No, motherfucker stole my hoodie." They probably thought it was cool.
Do you think we'd ever see that, like, bands like that, like Earth Mover or Alliance or any of that happen?
Do we see it happen?
No. Do you think like now we would see like it happen?
Them playing again?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's hard to say.
I
know.
I was thinking about
all it takes is for someone to go and get the fucking bug in them, and it happens. You know what I'm saying?
I was thinking about
Earth Mover and Alliance, and some of the older bands like that, the local bands that were around here. they could be really relevant today, you know?
They could be really well.
Seriously, I mean, I was listening to the Alliance the other day. It's funny you bring this up, and I was like, this shit could be fucking relevant. And then I was in a band for a little while with Eckert and Bob Bunger, my original drummer from. He was the only drummer ever in Without Warning, but the first person I ever jammed with. And Herb, we did this Fire Tiger band. We called it Fire Tiger, dude. We played one show. It was at the motherfucking Wayne Road pub. Rest in peace. That was the second best dive bar ever next to the fucking Corktown Tavern back in the day. Fucking in the Tom days. But where was I going with that?
Alliance.
Oh yeah, the Alliance.
Being relevant.
But I was listening to that, and then I started listening, and I pulled up some shit to Ecker, because I said, what if we do a show once when, like, we just would do a cover song from each one of our, we'll do 4 cover songs at this thing. We'll do a song from each one of our old bands.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do a Without Warning song. Eckert could do a fucking Alliance song or a Hyde song or something, and Justin he's got like 15 bands to fucking pick from, son of a bitch, and drumming whore. I love him. He's a badass, so that's why everybody wants him. And then Jake, he's got like Coffin Feeder and Kate, fucking my brain's not working that good this morning yet. We're doing this early. I'm usually sleeping at 11 o'clock on Sunday.
Justin's drumming for Dogs of War too, huh?
Yeah, yep. They're getting ready to break out. No.
That Corey is playing guitar for Dogs of War.
I think so. I heard that they added somebody. So.
Yeah, Corey McLean. Which I thought was really cool, because he's always. You can tell he loves the music, he loves everything. He's always been really super cool. So, because I talked to Enzo, I think we talked for like an hour and a half one night. I just, because that's what that show that I got in October. I told him, I would travel with them and just kind of do like a mini documentary.
Yeah.
Maybe hit 1 or 2 of their practices before, just like this, a start to finish, kind of type deal. And like I said, I'm just excited about all of it, and I miss it, like how I used to, photographing the shows and just documenting it, and it's so much easier to make videos now, and they're so much better,
And everyone's doing all this shit with phones. Back in the day, you had to hire motherfuckers.
I had to have a computer.
I mean, if you want something super high,
and I had to have a computer, and I had to have fucking software, and I had, all this shit. Now everything's right on my phone.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as these fucking phones cost nowadays,
you
should be able to.
Yeah. Just got to figure out how to edit and all that.
Yeah.
That's where I have issues with things. I don't know how to get into.
But you can literally like do it all on your phone.
Yeah.
And I love it for like even just the promo stuff, to push the shows, making little 15-second videos, and and I love putting the music on it, so it's not just a flyer. It's like it's like visual and audio.
Yeah. I was gonna I forgot. I was gonna try something, Bill. I know you can edit it anytime you want, anything, so I'm gonna fucking connect to this thing and see if I can give you a sample of something that we're fucking with. Oh, Bluetooth. Rockville. I'll be right back. Oh. Here we go. That was quick. Ooh, I better turn that fucker down because it's gonna get loud. I just gotta see what level we're at. tiger.
Get on. Oh wow.
Is that loud?
No.
Huh?
I did listening to the music.
Yeah, that's some old fire tiger right there. This is back in the early 2000s, I'd say. 2004, 5, 6, maybe. I don't fucking remember dates, man. I'm bad with that shit. That was, used to sit in the basement, or actually a pole barn. Lived over there by Ann Arbor Road, Ridge Road. It was an old party store. The house was actually the old party store, and when they built the one next door, they got rid of the front part that was the party store, and then the house part that they lived in, Herb rented that off of them, and they had a big pole barn. So we named ourselves Fire Tiger because there was a velvet painting in that fucking pole barn that was just left there by previous tenants, and then it was a velvet painting of a tiger, and there was fire in the background and shit. So for some reason we called it that's where Fire Tiger came from. But this is hilarious. I was listening to it, I was like, this shit has a good sound to it back then, you know? But I'll turn that off. I didn't want to wanted to show you my new PA. Got a Bluetooth through it. I like that. Cool for a band room. It's nice to have a good band room because it makes fucking being together and practicing and makes it a lot more comfortable when you have a nice, comfortable band room. We've been fucking doing when we were in the loft.
Oh my god.
It was dirty, stinking, fucking
Hot as fuck in that room.
Yep. You're supposed to have heat in the wintertime, it's cold. You're supposed to have air conditioning in the summertime, and it's fucking 100 degrees up there. But those were some good days too.
Yeah. I remember I just seen the picture the other day, the Burger King mask. Because I think
I forgot him. Yeah, that was at the loft. That's when we played with our homie Zanny Up.
Yeah.
Critter, my boy.
I remember going there. We had to load all that shit from
Mr. Kane.
Motor City Fest.
Yep.